Germany, once one of Israel's most loyal arms suppliers, slams the brakes. Chancellor Friedrich Merz freezes weapons exports that could be used in Gaza, signalling a seismic shift in Berlin's stance. As European allies line up to condemn Netanyahu's Gaza Takeover plan, Hamas warns hostages will pay the price. And even Israel's own ministers accuse their Prime Minister of leading the war into disaster. Chancellor Friedrich Merz announced on August 8th that Germany will halt exports of military equipment that could be used in the Gaza Strip. Berlin's response comes in response to Israel's plan to expand its operations there. In a statement, Merz said that the release of the Israeli hostages and negotiations for a ceasefire are Germany's top priorities, expressing deep concern over the suffering of civilians in the Gaza Strip. The decision marks a major change of course for the German government, which has been one of Israel's staunchest international allies.
It is increasingly difficult to understand how the Israeli military plan will help achieve the legitimate aims of disarming Hamas and freeing the hostages. Under these circumstances, the German government will not authorize any exports of military equipment that could be used in the Gaza Strip until further notice.
Merz's comments come amid a sea change of opinion among a number of Western countries about how the war in Gaza is being fought and the resulting humanitarian crisis. Germany's steadfast and long-standing support for Israel, based on Holocaust guilt, has been badly strained by Gaza's mounting death toll and humanitarian crisis, which have prompted demands from the German public for government action. According to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, Germany provided 30% of Israel's major arms imports in 2019 to 2023, primarily naval equipment, including Saar 6-class frigates, which have been used in the Gaza war. Meanwhile, China has expressed serious concerns over Israel's plan to take control of Gaza City, urging it to immediately cease its dangerous actions. Beijing further said that it is willing to work together with the international community to help end the fighting in Gaza as soon as possible.
Gaza belongs to the Palestinian people and is an inseparable part of Palestinian territory. The correct way to ease the humanitarian crisis in Gaza and to secure the release of hostages is an immediate ceasefire. A complete resolution to the Gaza conflict hinges on a ceasefire. Only then can a path to de-escalation be paved and regional security ensured.
US Vice President J.D. Vance said the Trump administration has some disagreement with Israel regarding the latter's prosecution of the war in Gaza, even though Washington shares Jerusalem's objectives.
Well, it's one of the things that we're going to talk about. Obviously, the United Kingdom is going to make its decision. We have no plans to recognize a Palestinian state. I don't know what it would mean to really recognize a Palestinian state, given the lack of a functional government there. You know, what the president has made very clear is our two goals are very simple right now vis-a-vis the situation in Israel and Gaza. Number one, we want to make it so that Hamas cannot attack innocent Israeli civilians ever again, and we think that has to come through the eradication of Hamas. Second, the president has been very moved by these terrible images of the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, so we want to make sure that we solve that problem. I think all of us can work on how to solve that problem. Obviously, it's not an easy problem to solve, or it would have already been dealt with, but we share, I think, that focus and that goal. We may have some disagreements about how exactly to accomplish that goal, and we'll talk about that today.
Several European nations like the United Kingdom, Belgium, the Netherlands and Denmark also raised concerns against Netanyahu's Gaza Takeover plan. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer urged Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu to reconsider his plans to take over Gaza City and said the move would only bring more bloodshed. The British Prime Minister said Israel's decision to escalate a conflict that has killed tens of thousands of Palestinians. Starmer said Israel and Hamas should de-escalate the conflict and agree to a ceasefire, and that the prospect of a negotiated two-state solution was vanishing before our eyes, without the two sides engaging in good faith in negotiations. Amid the rising global concern over Netanyahu's Gaza Takeover plan, Hamas said that Israel's decision to approve a plan to take over Gaza City is proof that Netanyahu and his government are disregarding the lives of the hostages, as they know that expanding the military operation will lead to their sacrifice. The Hamas statement claims that the decision explains why Israel abruptly withdrew from hostage deal negotiations, which the group claims were on the verge of reaching a ceasefire agreement. Notably, Israel and the US pulled their negotiating teams from Doha late last month after Hamas requested amendments to a partial ceasefire and hostage release deal that they found unacceptable. Hamas has also demanded that the United States and international courts stop Israel from carrying out its planned takeover. Meanwhile, fractures were visible even within Israel over Netanyahu's plan. Blue and White National Unity Chairman Benny Gantz slammed the cabinet's newly approved plans to conquer Gaza City, calling it a political failure that wastes the tremendous achievements of the IDF. In a post on X, Gantz suggested an alternative plan to achieve the war's stated goals of destroying Hamas and returning the hostages. Also, Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich expressed his disappointment with Netanyahu's plan to take control of Gaza City, as he believes it does not go far enough.
The proposal spearheaded by Netanyahu and approved by the cabinet may sound good, but it's actually more of the same. This is not an operation to conquer the Strip, take full military control of the territory, and push for a decisive outcome. The only way to ensure victory, lasting security, and the return of the hostages, but a specific and dangerous operation whose sole purpose is to return Hamas to the negotiating room, a goal that isn't a goal of the war.
According to the spokesperson, Smotrich believes the decision is immoral, unethical, and not Zionist. He is said to have told the Security Cabinet that if Netanyahu truly wants his plan to lead to victory, then the Premier must explicitly announce that he will no longer agree to a partial deal. That way, Hamas will understand that it has two choices left: surrendering in an agreement or destruction.